shining.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, the Akim and Akwaf scattered on the four corners of planet Earth. I'm the brother Iraq from GMS Dallas. And got the brother Tashai sitting in.
Shalom, shalom.
All right, as well. And we wanted to go into some prophecy, through the spirit, some news. All right, and specifically an article. All right, going into AI. All right, and specifically, Esau using, these, three-letter agencies, the FBI, CIA. All right, these tech companies and all the data that they're gathering. All right, that's basically being linked up with artificial intelligence to create, a technocratic police state. All right, in which basically Esau can see all, and basically control all, and we know that this is going to lead to the implementation of Revelation 13 and 16, which is the microchip. Okay, so it's going to be, just want to touch on a few points through the spirit, and Lord's willing, this lesson is edifying. You have anything you want to open up with?
I was thinking about that Philippians,
Let's get it.
Because we see all this hell coming down the pipe, and the Most High has did this specifically, to have the deliverance for His people, all right, which are you so-called Black, Latinos, Native Americans, and Negro descent, okay, and all this hell is going to come down upon the whole world because the Most High is judging this world, as it is so. I think it's Philippians 4 and 9.
Come,
or
you want to read it?
Yeah, come on. You can read it. If you can start up, you can. But is it 4 and 9?
What does it say?
Going into what manner you could be in all holy conversation and godliness. Is that Philippians?
Nah, I don't believe that's in this chapter, bro. But go ahead and find it. I'm gonna get a precept while you're getting it.
Come on.
This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of His Christ," or His anointed, which is Yahushua. It says, "For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night." All right, and that word accuser, okay, is categoreo. All right, Strong's G2723. All right, so Esau is basically setting up the infrastructure, the system, the digital systems, to where he can accuse, all right, anybody that opposes his agenda, all right, and his NWO system, which at the forefront of that is going to be the men of the Lord, all right. But this word categoreo, it says to accuse before a judge, to make an accusation, right? Because this AI system that he's setting up is going to lead to actual indictments, actual, judgments being made here on this side, all right? Which is why Yahushua warned us and told us, to that the servant, is not greater than his master, all right?
That he will do the same thing.
We're going to be persecuted, right? We're going to be taken to prison. We're going to get precepts on all this. All right. But I just wanted to get, matter of fact, when you keep going on this definition, Strong's definition, it says to be a plaintiff. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's get the definition of the word plaintiff. It says a person who brings a case against another in the court of law. Okay, so we're getting ready to be, certain brothers are gonna be in them courtrooms, man. But it's a beautiful thing because we know that however it goes, Akyam, the Lord is going to get us the victory. You found what you're looking for?
Nah, I couldn't find it. But going to what you're saying, because those men that have to, be deliberated upon. All right, Yahweh Shemiah Shai is going to put His words into your mouth. All right, to where no man can gainsay. All right, because it's through Yahweh Shemiah Shai, that we're going to get the victory. Okay. Yep. And with us in these times right now, toiling the way that we are, because GMS, we like to search out the matter, all right? And as we're seeking, we are finding things that's being galvanized in our minds to say, whenever all this hell comes down, whenever we are standing in the courtroom, we have the scriptures to fall back on. All right.
Right. Where's that scripture where the Lord said, don't even think about
what
you gonna say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For I shall put my words in you.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and read this in Luke 21 and verse 12. It says,
that's a banger.
Gotta start up. This is Luke 21 and 10. The subheader, it says, things to come. Why is this double showing the shared tab on here? That's weird.
I know.
That's weird. But it's whatever. They can see my screen. Luke 21 and 10, it says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. All right, World War III, which is cooking up right now. You can't tell. All right. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights, and great signs shall be there from heaven. Tazama went into that, and the priest Tazama down here from GMS Dallas, he was going into how on, I want to say he said not August 1st, but I think it was August 6th, all right, where there's going to be a solar eclipse, there's going to be a planetary alignment
at the same time,
and there's going to be another celestial event all happening in one day. Okay?
Probably a blood moon.
Something.
Because these blood moons are happening so frequently. I see it as like the heart monitor beep 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 whenever you're in the hospital. So the blood moons are happening so frequently. Ever since back in 2017, we've had so many blood moons back to back. It's showing the dying of the system. All right, because the world doesn't end, the system ends. All right, and whenever the system ends, who's going to rise next to come to pass? That'll be the nation of Israel. Okay.
Yeah. I forget what that one scripture where it says, as long as the sun is, operating, and the moon, the Lord is going to, not do away with the nation.
Yeah.
Roughly paraphrasing.
That goes into Esau wanting the nation to be done away with. All right. But the Most High is putting it in everybody's head, that whenever this system collapses, all right, Moab then got next. All these other kingdoms that has reigned upon the earth, they're thinking they're going to get a second term, But just like we're going into, all right, the FBI is setting up a hit list, all right. They're setting up a hit list for everybody that's not with the system. Okay? Mm-hmm. And they already got all your information. They got your social security card, your birth certificate. They got your, Google Play Store or whatever, They have everything that they need to, put everybody in categories. All right? But
the article goes into that. Yep.
But you got it.
I'm going to keep going on Luke 21 and verse 12. It says, but before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake.
Con.
You know, and that happened in the book of Acts, right? When you had, Paul before Agrippa. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? That's getting ready to happen all over again.
Yep.
All right. And through the Spirit, don't let these situations, speaking to myself first and foremost, intimidate you. The Lord said, He gave us not the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a strong mind. All right. And best believe we got hidden. There are believers everywhere, man. Sprinkled in high places. Who knows, man? The Lord is going to deliver brothers. Some brothers are going to be martyred, as the scripture said, right? Some brothers are going to sit down, right? Revelation 2, you should have tribulation 10 days, right? Some of you are going to be cast into prison, all right? But guess what? It's a trial of our faith at the end of the day.
Yep.
So if the Lord deems your faith at the appropriate level, who's to say the Lord don't break you free?
Yep.
Who's to say the Lord don't put the spirit on an officer, a guard, to let your ass out?
And you said that if your faith is on an adequate level, your faith is going to be on an adequate level, all right? Because Yahweh Shemi Shai has trained you up to that point, okay?
I just meant just in the sense of every brother's life is different.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. I wasn't trying to, talk down on it or anything like that.
You good?
It was just the spirit, because Yahweh Shemi Shai has put everybody in position. All right, this is his movie, okay? And right now he's sitting back, pressing play, and watching it play out. But you got it.
Yep. And if you have any precepts, bro, Robert, bring them up. I'll finish this out, verse 14, 2 more verses. Luke 21:13 says, "And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it, therefore, in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer." So the Lord is saying, don't even worry about it.
I got you.
Because Jake, we is planners by nature. So when Jake read the scriptures, you got certain Israelites that probably got a whole game plan, right? This is how I'm going to avoid Jacob's trouble. This is how I'm going to get out of this situation, right? I got this 501c3. We good. The Lord told us, don't even worry about it. Yahweh Shemi Shai has got you, man. Okay? And it says, verse 14 again, it says, "Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer, for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist." Right? So brothers are going to be in these situations, but really, we're going to be condemning him. Yep. We're going to be condemning Esau and in this whole system. Yep. You got anything?
That Proverbs that they were talking about before, how so like my brain just went
chapter verse, what does it go like?
That Proverbs we were talking about how he's going to a man shall be offended for a word.
Oh yeah, Isaiah 29.
Yeah, Isaiah 29. And then back there with that Sirach 13.
Yeah, I got both of those on deck.
Or do you want
I was going to start reading the article, and then those will probably come out. Just let me know. But I'll read a little bit of this article. I highlighted some points. We're not going to read the whole entire thing. You know what I'm saying? But I'll leave the description. I'll leave the link in the description. Brothers want to read it. But this is on Reason.com. It says Minority Report. And that's a movie, right?
A movie. Actually, it's a movie that had another movie. It was remade twice.
Mm-hmm. And I've never seen the movie personally, but if I'm not mistaken, it goes into what, like the police state?
Yep. Yeah, it goes into police state. It goes into how they the Russians did back during the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
They would monitor everything to make sure that you're not a spy,
mm-hmm.
because and Esau has always wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's always wanted to make you an offender for a word.
Yeah.
You have no rights. So that's what he's coming to do now, is coming to take out all the rights, or the so-called rights, of Babylon the Great, which we really don't have rights. All right, you have permission.
Right. Right.
You know,
thinking a license.
yeah, that's permission to drive. You know, like Jake's been asking for rights this whole time just to be equal with this nigga, but he's systematically taking all that down, and then he's gonna take down everything else for his own people. So everybody is just gonna be in a perpetual slavery.
Yeah.
You know, all over again.
Yeah.
You got it.
Shalom, Mark. I'm gonna read this off the comment board. I actually had this precept held. This is John chapter 15 and verse 20. It says, "Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than the Lord. If thou hast persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will also keep yours also." All right, and that really prophecy that Yahushua spoke, all right, has manifested all the way into these times, into Esau's digital empire, all right, to where via your phone, via whatever technology you have, personal device, everything you say, think, do can be tracked, can be stored, all right, and now it can be analyzed and you can be categorized, you know, based off of everything that you do.
And with that said, they have a law. Well, it's not a law yet, but they're trying to make it to where Israel, everything that we say is going to go through Israel, the nation of Israel.
Oh, they passed that bill.
Yeah,
that bill passed in the Senate.
Yeah, so it's already here. That's why people's phones, the recorder will come on just out of the blue. You know, you got videos of that. You know.
Yeah.
But you got it on.
Nah, that's a good point. That bill, because I was actually gonna go into that a little bit in this lesson. I wish I could find the actual bill, but it's okay. I'm gonna keep reading. All right. It says in this article, it says documents show the FBI seeking AI tools to flag Americans before they act, as the terror watch list focus moves toward domestic dissent.
And that's like premeditated crime.
Yep.
All right. And in the Constitution, you can't do that. That's why they're going to get rid of the Constitution so they can do everything that they have in their own minds. You know, what's that? How I think it's Isaiah.
Find it. Yeah, pull up.
Yeah, I'm about to shot.
And I'm gonna look up the definition of this word dissent. All right, because really, when you think about the ramifications of this is straight out of a dystopia movie. This is straight out of a like, this is insane, man. You look up the definition of dissent. All right, let me look it up. It says the expression or holding of opinions at variance with those previously commonly or officially held. So it's about to become illegal to have an opinion.
Yep.
To express an opinion. Let that sink in.
That's why they're trying to get rid of the First Amendment, because the First Amendment is freedom of speech. All right, so we're not gonna have the right to preach this Bible, because the Bible has points that, you know, is against what they're trying to push. You know, that's
I don't want to cut you off.
Hey, that's why the small hats, the tiny tops, they go out of the Talmud. They don't speak these scriptures because it is against what they're doing. But you got it.
Yeah, I want to get a precept for what's something that you said. All right, this is what is that, Amos? That Amos 5?
Yeah.
Why is it not pulling up? That's weird.
Because they're also monitoring the internet and scriptures.
Yeah.
They're monitoring everything.
That's a good point.
Like, I tried to look up Baruch chapter 4, verse 35, and it kept on re-looping Baruch 4 and 28. You know,
This is Amos 8:11, just based off what you said. It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord God, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord."
And that's beautiful right there, because the words of Yahweh Shemi Shai is bread. Comida, food for thought. All right, and it is water, because it's ever moving and mighty. To break down a mountain. All right, if you understand the lingo, because that's what it is, through the words. Through this water that's being shown throughout all the nation of Babylon the Great and the world. All right, it's pulling down this kingdom. What you got?
Yep. And the famine of the word is basically synonymous with major destruction going forth. Because like the scriptures, like the Lord likened these times to Noah's times. When Noah stopped preaching and got up in the ark, man, it was over with. Right? The raindrops started falling, man, and niggas was drowning, dying horrible, grievous ass deaths
that they deserve.
Okay, so when this word, when the men of the Lord, the prophets, no longer have the ability to preach and teach, that means it's about to get real bad out here.
It's quiet before the storm.
That's it. So I'll keep reading down. All right. It says the FBI office in charge of maintaining the terrorist watch list is seeking an artificial intelligence system for pre-crime policing, according to procurement documents obtained by Reason. So that means that they already have a list. They've been had a list.
The red list, blue list, and green list. And we already know that we ain't on no green list. Yep. So and every camera, because we use the camera as a defense, but really it's something to loop us in to a category. All right, and I say that because they all have our faces.
Right.
All right, they all have our faces. They know whenever we say shalom, they know what it means. All right. So with that, they're going to use all of these things that they have acquired, through right hand means for the left hand.
Yeah. The scripture. I mean, this article goes into biometrics further down. Because we know that's going to be a big piece of it too.
Yep.
How they're gonna facilitate pre-crime is gonna be through the chip. Now they can already do it to a certain extent, via your social media posts, your search histories, right? Your purchase, what you purchase, what you listening to on YouTube and things of that nature. All right, but that's not even enough.
Nope.
Esau was to get inside your ass, man. Yeah. No Diddy, man. All right. It says the solution, and I'm just reading the parts that I highlighted. It says the solution must leverage existing enterprise data sets. Okay. And what does that mean? All right. You got a Google account, right? You got an Apple account, right? You got a Samsung, whatever you got, your Netflix.
Yep. They find everything in one.
All those are data sets. Okay. And all those things are getting ready to be used together, all right, to basically determine who can be out, who can be free, so to speak, who can be out in the streets, and who's gonna be locked up.
That shows you that whenever all this shit, is correlated together, you're gonna be a pinpoint on somebody's monitoring screen. All right, so they're gonna know where you go, and that's why they want the MOTB in you, because that's the ultimate device. But even before then, we have the lesser tracking device, which is your phone. Because what happens whenever you lose your phone? You go into oh shit, where's my phone at? that I have over there. And then iPhones, you can track your iPhone if you lose your iPhone. You know, you can track your iPhone from another iPhone. Okay.
Right.
So this world has gotten to the point to where, you know, it's so close to that MOTB being revealed. You know, this is scary. People are seeing it now. Everybody's seeing, like, bro, where are we at right now? Well, you're in the Most High's place of decision. He's about to rule on you, and then roll on you.
Well, yeah. I mean, were you referring to the Valley of Yahushua? You said place of decision.
Well, I was talking about.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and like not the actual Valley of Decision.
Yeah, that's in the Middle East.
Which is in the Middle East. I was speaking metaphorically on how the Most High is going to have you in that zone where judgment is going to happen. Yeah. You know, but you got it.
Yeah, America is about to be a no-fly zone, to say the least. America is about to get wiped off the map.
It's going to be chariots only.
And it's crazy because me just saying that's an example. They're going to be trying to persecute brothers for saying that. But guess what? That's what the scriptures say.
Yeah.
You mad because we just telling you what the scriptures say, man?
What's that? Do not you hate me now because I tell you the truth?
You know?
Loosely paraphrase.
It's like, damn, you had your rulership. You had your chance.
Hey,
the Lord gave you Rome.
Yep.
And then he gave you a revived Rome.
Yep.
He gave you America.
Yep. And now look at you. You look at the sad, busted, and gone down system. Shit.
I know that's right.
It was at that moment he knew.
Yep. So it says the solution must leverage existing enterprise data sets that include enriched or enhanced data elements, whatever the hell that means. It makes me think about the fact that you know, a lot of this fake AI content is circulating right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've noticed on your algorithm, right? They're not even, and there's no disclaimers. Like, you can just scroll through some AI generated content and they don't even have to fucking, like, you on TikTok or you on Instagram scrolling. They don't even have to fucking do a damn disclaimer.
Yeah.
You just watching some made up shit.
And like real shit, if you're not discerning enough to see through that, you know, it will be on your ass. Okay. But that's also going into, you know, making a man an offender, you know, because they can put something crazy on your shit, and you not knowing there's AI, you know, but you glanced at it. Oh shit! Look at him.
Yeah,
he went off. He did this.
Yeah,
but you got it.
I'm gonna go ahead and read that since he quoted it. It's Isaiah 29:21. It says, let me start up for one verse. This is Isaiah 29:20. It says, for the terrible one is brought to naught, and the scorner is consumed, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. And that's talking about Esau.
Esau, you.
Okay. And he's categorizing, right? Categorizing.
Yes, categorizing.
Right? People that are just speaking the truth. When really, we doing the right thing. Calling out the BS. All right, here it is. You're building all these goddamn data centers, right? Trafficking who knows how many, you know, men, women, and children all over the planet Earth. You know, and it's just like, damn, man. But that's okay, because Yahweh Shemel Shah is getting ready to end this place. It's Isaiah 29:21. It says that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just thing of not. All right. And the thing is, you can lay as many snares as you want, Esau, but guess what? This you putting us in the snare, you persecuting the men of the Lord is a snare on you.
Yep.
That's a trick bag that you in. Because once you come down on the men of the Lord, that's gonna speed this thing up, man. Even more.
And I was gonna say, you know, it's just like whenever you kill the messenger,
Right.
you got to worry about the king,
Right.
because the messenger was just sent forth to be a herald, before the king comes. All right, and then in these times, the messengers are the brothers of the king.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more hell coming on that ass. Come on now, man.
Yep.
But finish out your precept. I'll pull.
That was it on the precept.
All right, Con. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10, going into the point that you made on Esau, Edom, and how he's coming down upon the men of the Lord, or the elect of the nation of Israel. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Going into Esau, Edom, coming down on the nation of Israel. Okay, and this in Wisdom of Solomon is Wisdom of Solomon 2. This is the wicked, and they're speaking the evil devices that they want to do, and that they have been doing upon the face of the earth right now. Okay, verse 11, it says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Nothing worth. Mm-hmm. Because they look down upon Jake, because they're feeble.
Right. The scriptures liken us to the poor and needy.
Yep. And it also likens us as worms. Yep. Because worms are defenseless. Mm-hmm. Okay. And really, the nation of Israel here in Babylon the Great, all right, we are defenseless. We're not sovereign. Mm-hmm. We can't do the things that other nations have because they have sovereignty. Mm-hmm. All right. They have the right to separate themselves from Esau, Edom, even though we are amalgamated in whatever the hell this is. Yeah. All right. Verse 12, it says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressions of our education. All right, and that's a lot in a little. All right, I gotta go through it. It says, therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous. So they're seeking a time to where they can come down upon the men of the Lord, the ones that are shaking the hand at their kingdom in the gates. Yeah. of the nobles.
Yeah, and that's what the FBI is known for doing. The reason why they have such a success high prosecution rate, I want to say it's like 98%, right? When they take your ass to trial, they win, because what they do is they sit on as much information as they possibly can until there's no reasonable doubt, all right, to present to the jury.
Because they're building up a case.
Exactly.
They are compiling every known thing that you did wrong in your whole existence. Yep. Especially towards the men of the Lord. Okay? It says, because he is not for our turn. We are not for the turn of Esau Edom. We want to see Esau Edom, you self-proclaim, white men, because you prescribe that upon yourself. All right? We want to see this kingdom get done away with through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Mm-hmm. All right? So everything that you're doing is going to come to naught. All right? I'll continue. It says, because he is clean contrary to our doings, because we're trying to separate ourselves because we're holier than thou. All right? So we're, separate. It says, and he upbraided our offending of the law, because Esau Edom offends the law of Yahweh Shem Yahushai because they implement their own law. And since they implement their own law, they think that their law is greater than what Yahweh Shem Yahushai has already put out. Okay? And objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. All right? Esau isn't educated in what Yahweh Shem Yahushai has prescribed. what's that? It's that Psalms chapter 140, 147, verse 19. How he showeth his word unto Jacob, his father, and his statutes unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any other nation. And
Right.
so yeah, the Most High is not for you. You know, Isaiah chapter 40, verse 10. You know how he likens the other nations as spittle. You know, or the drop that falls out of a vessel. He doesn't care for you. You're insignificant. But Salakia, you got it. I don't want to go too far.
Con. I'll keep going. A couple more points. This next part, I'll read this paragraph. It says, but the second Trump administration has renamed the TSC,
Yeah.
and the TSC stands for the Terrorist Screening Center. It says to focus on broadly defined threats and oriented it towards groups the administration deems subversive, a change that has received little media coverage. But through the Spirit, brothers have been going into this, elders have been going into this, how ChatGPT and these AI systems know a lot about Great Millstone, right? Like Elder Tahar goes in that all the time, just how much information they have on GMS and the doctrine that we teach, the things that we believe. That's not a coincidence, okay? It says, which instructed the entire national security apparatus to focus on incredibly broad threats, including anti-Americanism, anti-capitalism, and anti-Christianity, extremism on migration, race, and gender, and hostility towards those who hold traditional American views on family, religion, and morality. Okay, so these are just terms that he is making up, basically, all right, to find an excuse to persecute Jake, all right, and other individuals.
And with that said, you know, this algorithm that he set up, you know, to come down upon, you know, the elect, you know, or the men that are out there signing and crying, is also falling upon himself. All right. And that's why I wanted to pull the Psalm chapter 64, verse 8. You know, it's that I'm just going to get straight to the point. It says, so they shall make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. All they that see them, see them shall flee away. All right. So they are putting themselves in their own trick bag, you know, that they're trying to put us in, you know.
Yep.
But
Yep. This is continuing on. It says at a March 2026 congressional hearing, FBI Director Kash Patel bragged that the TSC, the Terrorist Screening Center, has rapidly expanded with a double-digit increase in biometric capabilities and another double-digit increase in intelligence production. So basically, this system that they're creating that's backed by AI, it's getting really big.
Yeah.
It's doubled. It's getting stronger, you know, and it's utilizing biometrics as well. Yeah, point?
He's putting everybody in these categories, and AI gets smarter every 3 months.
Right.
So it gets a better, you know, brain capacity, you know, to where it can put everybody in these specific categories that they want.
Check this out. Next part I highlighted. It says an influx of data and a new mission categorizing Americans' political views as terroristic threats will require ever more effort to compile and query. That's where AI comes in, and that's also where the data centers come in.
Yep.
You know, which like the brother Taz made that good analogy last night. They're basically like storage units.
Yep.
You know, that's what they are. They're storage units for data.
Yeah. And back a while ago, I think it was like, you know, 5 to 10 years ago, they did that big data center over there in Utah, All right, and that was one of the first ones, that they had. But it was so big it could quantify so many um, um, uh, parts of data quick.
Mm-hmm.
That was at the beginning of 5G. Now we're about to go into the beginning of 7G. To them, 6G hadn't even came out in the populace yet, but all these ramifications on the people, this is why how about Shimmy Shot speeding up the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because if he doesn't do that, no flesh will be saved. Esau Edom is really going bananas with this shit.
Yep.
But you got it.
Yep. This is the last point that I had in this article I'm reading. I got one more precept and whatever you got. This is on the last paragraph. I highlighted. There's another good point down here. All right. And it says, I want to say this is Cash Patel speaking. All right, I'll read the paragraph above. It says the FBI has signaled that its new effort to brand political opponents as the political opponents of the president as terrorists has only just begun, and that soon the power of large language models will be brought to bear on the effort to flag and tag political dissidents in mass. It says, and this is a quote from Cash Patel, it says, "I've got every major tech company in the world embedded in the FBI, rebuilding our internet capabilities, our classified systems, and the ability for AI to be in our counterterrorism program so that we can get instantaneous results." Talking that shit.
Man. Dog shit.
Esau is just telling you. He's just straight up telling you. Like you just brought out that precept. It's telling you to fall upon himself.
Yeah.
Esau, he just putting it out there.
Like, hey, this is what it is. Get ready. Remember, you will have nothing and love it.
Right. You'll have nothing and be happy. Yep.
Yeah.
You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Yeah. So he told you whenever he came out and said that Klaus Schwab.
Right.
But I was gonna say, man, I brought that comes back.
I'll get this Job 5:12. Right, because Esau's not gonna be successful.
Nope.
Esau's doing all this. He's doing all this. He's talking all this shit. But guess what? He's still gonna lose. Okay, this is Job chapter 5 and verse 12. It says, "He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise." Okay. Then it says, "He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong." Okay, so all this is going to backfire in a major way. And don't be surprised if this AI, we always talk about this, don't be surprised if the AI ends up turning.
Turning, yeah.
The Lord put the spirit on the AI to release all of us.
Yeah. Hey, it's funny because Skynet, Skynet, like everything that has been put in a movie or a TV show, AI usually realizes that, okay, the human race really doesn't be needed anymore, and it tries to put its own self up. So you're making something that can combat against you. And I was going to also say that there's a TV show that goes into this exact same thing. The AI tracking system is called Class of 09. All right, and it's a pretty good watch. All right, but it shows you how everything that they were going through is systematically being set up before us today. So it's like a call out. They gotta show you something before they do it.
Yep.
So,
hey, well, that's all I had. I believe the point was made. Wanted to bring out some of that information. Because these are the times that we're in. All right. So the water for the brothers tuned in, left a comment on the comment board. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakakadash. double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well. And shalom to the brothers and sisters, all right, out there, the believers, okay. Shalom to the next lesson.
Shalom, shalom.